really well this Tuesday, the 18th of November. This month is flying by extremely fast. A week next Tuesday is December the 1st. It's flying back. Football is on its return this weekend. United don't play until Monday, but gives us time, right, to get our heads back in gear, to get this team rested, to get our players back. Scott in the chat, Scott, legend of this chat. I hope you're doing extremely well, my friend. Obviously back from the school run. I'm just back from the school run as well. So I've decided to do this show now. So first thing to say, look, get into this amazing community, get into this amazing chat. Be respectful to the community, be respectful to the moderators, be respectful to me. Otherwise, the ban hammer comes out and you will get banned. Other thing to say is I'm not a dictator of this chat. I do really try to read out your comments. It's really important to me that you guys get your say. If I do come back on some stuff, it's not because I'm disrespecting the opinion. It sometimes just drives thoughts in my head. Doesn't mean that I'm right. I give people's opinion. Dino, I hope you're doing extremely well, my friend. I'm not doing too badly. Yeah, good. Amazing show yesterday as well. Any disrespect and you get it back tenfold. Yeah, get in there. Yeah, look, guys, as we always say, look, just be respectful to the chat. Look, we have some amazing rival fans on here as well. I think in general, most people are respectful. YouTube Prim says, who else is tired of this international break? Me. I'm tired of this international break, my friend. It's done and dusted for now. Long gone. Today, what I wanted to do was do the preview, right? I've been itching to do something else other than talk about Semenyo, other than talk about Anderson, Baleba, and all this sort of stuff, right? I've seen loads of things out there today, literally milking the hell out of all this stuff. There's nothing new. MKMR says Messi or Ronaldo. I get asked that a lot. Simple answer, my standard stock answer is this: Messi is a gift. Cristiano is the epitome of hard work. Simple as that. I obviously lean towards Cristiano. YouTube Premium says we won't sign anyone in the January window. I'll give you my quick opinion on that as well. Look, guys, get in your opinions on the transfer window. I'm leading with the Everton stuff today. But look, get in your opinions. Yamal or Mbappe? I think recently Yamal. I think he's had more of an impact with Spain and on Barcelona. Mbappe, look, there is no question that he's a fantastic player. They're both fantastic players. I think the difference will be is, can Yamal maintain the level? Can Yamal maintain the level? Mbappe can. So Mbappe's got to the level. I think if Yamal, that is exactly my point, right? That is exactly my point which you're making. It's when you come through that young. I think if Yamal maintains it and gets through to Mbappe's age, and he's, as you say, he's not a diva, then, but Mbappe, I think you can take either or. We won't sign any players. Like YouTube, I think we will get Conor Gallagher on loan. I've said this again. I will. The one thing I've said all the way along is I think there is a lot of spin. I would like to think that we would be ambitious. I don't think we are ambitious as a club. I think we will. I think we need to. I think we need to get one. I think he'll be alone. Scott says, I met some lad last night on FC26. He's a United fan. I told him to sub and come join the lives with JB. Scott, thank you, my friend. We've got Agent Scott. We've got Agent OB. Guys Guys, if every one of you told a friend and they told a friend, this community would get larger and larger and larger. Get in. Dino says, what are you percentage chance of each possible signing we make, JB? I think Baleba, for me, I would go 80%, I think. Gallagher, I think on loan, about 70%. I think Anderson is 50-50. I think Stieler is 50-50. Wharton, I think, is 50-50 as well. I think Anderson's going to be a lot of competition there. I think Baleba is the most likely for me. I'd go 80%. I generally think there's an agreement in place, and I think he will come. I really do. But that's going to be, I think, summer deal. I think YouTube, I think premium is nearly correct. I think we are going to make a signing, but how that looks, I don't know. Liam Jones, legend, my friend. Hope you're doing extremely well. Nice to catch an afternoon stream. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Liam, legend of the chat, my friend. Yeah, hope you're doing extremely well. Conor Gallagher is useless to us. Who's he going to fill in for? Casemiro. He's not holding play, and Bruno won't be dropped. Sub only mode. JB helps get subs as well. I'll give that a go. We definitely need to get more people into the chat as well. Look, I think YouTube Premium, I think we need bodies. Whether I think he's good or not, that's not my opinion. I would like, look, do I ultimately want him on loan? No. I think he's going to be a body. I think he's going to be a Sabitzer type. I just think the club will do that. Doesn't mean to say that I agree with it, but I just think that's what I just think that is what the club will do. YouTube says, I think I read some Spanish reports coming out saying that Gallagher is happy at Madrid and isn't thinking about leaving. Look, again, if that's true, then maybe we're looking at other targets. I'm still of that opinion that I do think he will come. But look, we don't know. We don't know. There's always no value in the market. That's where I think we're at still. I think we're still that club. Believers 70%. Get a holding player that can help rotate with Casemiro. I am with you. We need a holding type. We need a destroyer for that pivot. As much as I think I've put Casemiro on the thumbnail, not because I'm an overly massive Casemiro fan. I think that he's done a good job this season. I admire what he's done this season. And I think he does definitely need help. And it's a shame. It is ultimately a shame that Ugarte can't do more. Dino says, what happened to the time when players had more than one good season before we signed them? Steve said, all this talk of attacking players is ludicrous. We spent massively on Cunha, Shesko and Mbeumo. Recruitment need is glaringly obvious. And I think some of this is low-hanging fruit, as Indicala said last night. And this is, I'm not a massive fan of those. I think they get things mostly wrong. I think Liverpool for Semenya. I think that put 2 and 2 together, some people get 5. I think they need that type of player. I wouldn't know, irrespective of whether I'm not, and I'll ask you guys, do you think he's a good player? Would you bring him into the team? I don't disagree that he's a great player, but I don't know where we'd put him. The only space I could see for a sort of winger wide type would be left wing back. I don't see that. So I don't know where he goes. Do we need another attacking player? I think we do. More a striker type of player. As the Shesko injury has shown, we should have got another striker. But yeah, I agree. We should have got Norgard from Brentford, nice and cheap. Below in the midfield, who's with me? I think Grace. I think you are on your own on that one. But look, we're going to get into the head-to-head stuff in a second. Look, I'm going to. We are nearly towards the. Well, we've got 6 days until the game. I am not going to go in on these players. Now we all have our opinions, but I think now is the time to support these players. He should be left at home. Liam says Gallagher smells of a Murtock signing. I hope we've moved on from that type of thing. It does. It smells of a let's get somebody in, just because then we can say that we've done something. We're going to see how ambitious this club is. I think if we are going to make top 4, top 5, which I think we absolutely need to do, I think it's very, very dangerous to rely on this squad. We all know what these players are. I think we need just a bit more grace, like to ride. Semenya can play 3 positions as a 10 or left or right wing back. Yeah, see that Wink says it all. Portuguese sausage. She has to fight for Amorim. To be fair, I do like a sausage. Grace. Oh, Grace. I love it. Grace. Legendary comeback, Grace. I've got to give it up to Grace there. Grace. Legend. Oh, that's all I can say, Grace. Fantastic. Any kind, Grace. Let's not be going down that route. So look, let's go through the preview. Let's go through that. Right. So Grace. I love it, Grace. I love it. Grace, you are a legend. Absolute legend, Grace. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious, Grace. So head-to-head notes. So let's just go through the notes. Let's go through the preview. Like the last 3 that we've done, we basically went through it. We spoke about what we thought that they would do, and it bloody happened, didn't it? YouTube Prim says, I think Delo gets a lot of unnecessary flack from the fan base. He's more stable defensively than any of the other wing backs. That's why he plays. Always gives 100% as well. Look, YouTube, I think he's a limited player. The one thing I have said about him, and I'm being kind here to him, is he does always give 100%. But for me, I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he is. I do think he gets a lot of flack, but sometimes, look, if you watch the Forest game, right, and this is the epitome for me with him. There was a ball over the top. Luke Shaw and him were running onto the ball, and he couldn't keep up. And look, whilst he's going to be in this team, right? I think I will support him, but I also will call it out when I think he's had a bad game. We've got to support these players. There are players that I think that need to go, but until that happens, these are our players. It's almost like when you've got black sheep in the family, but they're basically yours, aren't they? So I think we've got to support them this season. Mohammed, I don't know what that is. Cormac says, hi, what do you think about Ireland? Mate, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Cormac, I think it's absolutely brilliant. What I loved about that was Zabozlai was doing all that, right? And then that go at the end. I mean, what a way to win a match. That's all I can say. Absolutely fantastic. So well done to Ireland. Greetings. Let the United boys a positive attitude to win our next game. And this is what we've got to do now. Look, we can criticise. Look, there'll be time to criticise after the game, and then we go again. I have this thing, right, which I always say to my children, right? When anything happens, it's done and dusted. We forget it. We move on to the next thing. At the end of the season, at the end of the match, we do a reaction after the match on Monday. We can get our frustrations out then, and then we move on again. And then at the end of the season, things will change. Liam says, I'm really confused by the links to Semenyo. Where would he play? Left wing back. I can't imagine an outstanding winger being sold on that position. Liam, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. I'm confused with those links as well. I know why there are links to Semenyo. I do, because 65 mil, what a better way to link him to this club. So basically someone else can, so they can sell him on. So I'm not confused from that perspective, but Liam, I do agree with you. I'm confused as to where he would play. Grace says, YouTube Premium, you are a legend. Don't listen to all these haters. Hamid Moran says, hello. When we're playing. So Alfie, we are playing Monday night, 8 o'clock. Who's logged into my second account? Pants Pack says, which United legend in their prime would you put into this present squad to make the biggest impact? I would put in Roy Keane. It would be Keane. I think we need leadership. The reason why I would put in Roy Keane is if you listen to any player of the past, Robson as well. If you listen to any of those players of the past, right, and what they said, and this comes from the word of Scholes. This comes from Beckham. If you listen to Beckham speak, Scholes speak, Neville speak, Irwin speak as well. The one player they all talk about who drove standards was Keane. I think Roy Keane would come into this club. He would literally pull. He would pull them by the ears, and he would get the standards up to this club. And this is what we need. We need a captain and a player who that's got your back. When you go into a match, that they've got your back. And it's simple for me. A limited play for sure, but Dorgu doesn't track back in half his caught out position. And YouTube, I agree. Our weakness right now is that space between the wing backs and the centre backs, particularly on the Luke Shaw side. That side devastates us. Particularly on that side, I think Luke Shaw's quality is when the game is slowed down and he's got time to face up to a man. He's got time to get into position. That's his strength. But when it comes to that running pace and that ball in between those wing backs and our defenders, I think we struggle on that one. Alfie says it's on Monday. Amadou says the only problem at United now is United doesn't have players that change games during substitutions. Messi to come to Galatasaray. Mohamed, I think you retire, mate. Roy Keane raised the level of everyone around him. We end the season 79 points. Scott, look, I love. I'm more of a pragmatic, try to be level on what I think we can achieve this season. But I absolutely do love the positivity of you guys. Liam's right. Look, guys, give us a like. Give us a like, subscribe, hit that bell to let you know when we post something. Get into this amazing community, get into this chat. Scott is very bold. Ampadu says United need game changers. Yes, we do. Scott says Park. Dino says Keane or Stam. In the winter transfer window, we do need to sign a CM, I think. I love United. Whenever United loses games, I feel upset. And Ampadu, right? This is the point I think that people miss, right? And this is what annoys me about people like Sancho, right? Is that there are people that love this club to a point whereby it impacts them, impacts their mental health. I know it puts me in a bloody bad mood. And that's why it bugs me that when we sign players of the past and they don't seem to care about the club, they don't think about fans. They don't think about fans who deeply care about this club. Scott says we need a workhorse in the midfield, and Park would do it for us. If United play on the left side of the pitch, we will be good. Ray says I would always say left wing back, right wing back, can't be a winger. fullback at the same time. Midfield and 3 centre-backs are meant to cover the wing-backs when they go forward. Liam says, I think Shaw is still quick enough running in straight lines just when he's turned. Yeah, I mean, I think Shaw is on the cusp. I think there are. I think with Luke Shaw, I think when he's okay at the start of a game, it's just when it gets to 60 minutes, I think that's when the pace drops off. Look, it could be age. Look, the fact that Luke Shaw is still playing, the more that I think about it, and I do criticise him a lot. I'm still not his biggest fan. I still think he needs to go, but I've looked back more over some of the games. He's experienced enough. We're not going to change that position, and I think out of the remaining centre backs, I think that experience at time speaks for itself. He's still a concern of mine. But look, whilst we're winning games, we've not lost in 5. I don't think we played particularly well the whole season. But look, he's part of it. I've got to support him as much as I've got my own personal thought on it. I still think that we need to support him. May says we need Semenyo up front. Dino says we'll need a performance though who have limped past many teams this season. I agree. JB, he said who he must not be named. I know. Look, I'm being positive, right? Football is back. I've got to support these players. I don't know who is more terrible, Short or Delo. Double check the eye. The eye is, look, I'm being supportive. The eye is starting to twitch. Megan says we are a laughing stock of the Prem. Shaw, Delo, Maguire, Bruno, Casemiro all need to go. I don't agree with the first bit. I don't think Mag empty at the moment. We are the laughing stock. I think what's interesting, Mag, is when we started the season on here, we had a lot of rival fans, and this is how I know that we've progressed as a club. Is that we were at the start of the season, we had many rival fans coming on, giving us jit, right? Giving us, saying all sorts of stuff. I agree with your players. I agree that those players that you mentioned need to go. But it's interesting how those rival fans now are quiet. So I don't think we are. I think we're not respected, and I think they're waiting for us to lose the next match. But I actually think that we've silenced a lot of critics. Scott says, have to give JB his daily PTSD. Thanks, mate. United die-hearted players that should not want to lose, game hungry all the time. Lee Jong Suk's son, fantastic name, by the way. Delict kicks at 45. I just don't get it how so many goals against us. But people say he's good. Disgusting. Look, interesting opinion. I don't think. And again, I'm not going against your opinion. That's your opinion. What I love about this channel, what I love about you guys do, is we all have different opinions. We don't all share the same opinion. It's not for me to call your opinion out. I don't agree. I think the reason why we concede so many goals is because I think as a unit, and that includes the pivot, I don't think we defend particularly well in terms of a unit. The Delict, for me, can't do any more in this team. That's just my opinion. We like to poke the bear. Euphemism there. Free Row FM says, I would rather we played 2 central defenders and a 6 that plays as a halfback. So instead of a centre back moving forward, we have the ball. We have 1 midfielder dropping back. I get that. As a shield, I think we need to see what Martinez comes back after pretty much 2 years out. If he is the same player we initially signed, let Shaw go. If not, we will have to renew. His contract. obviously, if you've watched this show before, I'm very skeptical about Martinez coming back. As Liam says there, look, we need to assess that. Is he going to play with the same intensity? If we get that same player back, fantastic. All day long. I don't think we will. I just don't think we will. But I hope we do. And if Liam's right, I think he would be fantastic. So look, when Martinez comes back, I think the expectations should be balanced. I don't subscribe into and the funny thing, Liam, for me about the Martinez thing is I remember a couple of weeks ago when everyone was saying Martinez is back. Oh, the butcher's back. The butcher's back. Oh, he's amazing. He's back. And he's not back. He wasn't back. So I hope that they are holding him back to get him fully recovered. We're not going to know because it is nothing like playing a match. So I'm hoping that he can come back. And Liam, how fantastic would it be if we get him? Even if he's 90%, it'd be fantastic. Menu should start the next game. Do we know how long Šeško's out for? S7, Šeško apparently is out for a month. So I think it's a month from this week. So he will be back roughly about the 18th of December. It could be sooner, but then when he comes back, he's going to need a run of games. So really, I think we're talking for Šeško to sort of come back and sort of be Šeško again. I think it will probably be back end of January. A month looking back, was Beckham overrated? Pax Pan. If anything, I think Beckham was underrated. I think he was severely underrated. I think the thing about Bex is because he played for us so long ago. I think people don't realise what an engine he had. He was part of doubles, part of the treble winning side. I mean, the guy not only offered a free kick, but the guy was unbelievable. Unbelievable. I get why people think that. With time, I think players get forgotten about, but Beckham, believe the hype. Beckham was a fantastic player. Without De Ligt, the defence would crumble. He's the only shining light at the back. Says Dino, are you a retired uni lecturer? No. Main injury, a month for F's sake. Something seriously wrong with the fitness coaches. Players always getting injured. JB is thanks, mate. His stage name was Trapper. It's true, mate. It's true. It's all true. We might as well get a cardboard cutout of Šeško, put him up front. We'll probably have the same effect. I do, mate. Which player from present Barcelona would you take in the squad, or maybe Flick? I would take a Gavi. I think anybody in that midfield. I think for me. Make you say overrated. It is like an answer. Make a trench as he walks on the beach. Get a feeling he's going to be another Luke Shaw. In World War One, JB was a trench maker. I didn't need a shovel. No, it's true. Injury update for United. Keeps him warm in the winter. Uses it as a scarf. I do. I chuck it over the shoulder and it goes around my neck. Jamie Vargas legend, do you think we get Gomez from Wolves in January? Jamie, it's a difficult one. I think no. I think, look, if we're ambitious, then I think we take a punt. Apparently, there's 120 million pounds that we can spend. It's all to do with ambition. This is where I'm at on it. Okay, I believe that we're going to come out with there's no value in the market. So Scott, hilarious. I think we do what we always do. There's no value in the market, and I think we sign somebody on loan. I want to see ambition. I'm not going to rule it out in my own opinion, but I'm leaning towards, more than leaning towards, that there's no value in the market. I think we do very, very little, as we've always done. But I think probably more than ever, there is a possibility that we do something. Frio says Beckham, the best English midfielder of his generation. Moles better than Gerrard, Lampard, and better than Scholes. In modern football, as part of a midfield three dictating the game, he would be immense. I'm loving the Beckham passion. Bobby, legend of the chat, says hi. So fluffy. Yes, by free roll. That's too far, mate. Not better than Scholes. Yeah, I mean, look, I love Beckham. I don't think he's better than Scholes, but again, don't know about being better than Scholes. Don't rub on his neck and up. So let's start talking about this club. So look, where are we? So Everton, in the last 40 meetings, we've won 22 times. Everton have won 7 with 11 draws. I think at the moment, we definitely have been inconsistent. I think our recent form has been mixed. Look, we haven't lost in 5 games. I think what I want to see, and what I think this fan base wants to see, is I think we want to see a bit more consistency, and we start again. We bench us as top of the table. We need to see that. So Everton have their own issues as well. So look, I think that we average 1.9 goals a game. We concede 1 point goals as well. Do I think Everton will score? I think they will. It would be nice to keep a clean sheet, but I think the way that we are, I think I do think they'll score, and I still think it will be a tight game. Amelie says, I don't think the signing in the January window is a good one. I don't need to rush their signing. We need an example like, is it in Burmo? Do you think United will win the Champions League this year? Fazal, I'm guessing that you are a troll on the basis that we're not in the Champions League, unless you're talking about a Newcastle. We're not in the Champions League, so I'd love us to win it. I think the only Champions League that we can win this season is the Champions League. In FC 26. Go Oi says, let like stream guys. The guy's engagement is beaming. He deserves 60 likes at least. Look, mate, that is very, very kind of you, my friend. Look, this community is worth engaging with. And yeah, we are an amazing community. Ark Riders, yeah. David, I hope you're doing extremely well. I do. Fazil says yes, correct. I'm going to get it soon. We cover all topics. Yes, we do. Let the coach pick from the young players from the academy and bring and experienced players in the summer. I don't disagree with that in the summer. I think right now we need experience to get us through. But I think in the summer, I tend to agree with you. Did you get Baleba? Not yet. So Everton. Everton are currently 13th. Top scorer is Ndoye with 4 goals this season. Everton average 12 shots per game and have an average possession of 44.3. We have an average possession of 50.8. The total XG for this season is 6.24. Their shot creation versus conversion, I don't think is the best. So, look, Everton normally struggle away. I am expecting a Brighton performance, and what I mean by that is I'm hoping that we don't concede 2 goals. I mean, make it difficult for ourselves. And I am hoping that this is going to be a comfortable game. It's a Monday night. It's at home. First game back. Stan says, "Hey mate, an American here. I went to my first United game at Old Trafford back in March. I saw United beat Bilbao. Mount scored 2. Greatest day of my life. Just subbed. Stan, mate, absolutely amazing. Thank you so much." Yeah, I mean, there is. I know the ground is. I know the ground is, not what it once was. But there is, Stan, I'm with you, mate. It makes the hairs on your neck stand up. It is, and this is why I think it's so sad that what they're doing to this club, what they're doing. They are ripping. When the stadium comes down, I don't think people understand who've never been there what it's like. It will never be the same again. And yeah, man, look, I'm pleased for you, mate, that you've been. Yeah, just fantastic, mate. So look, what are the strengths? So let's go for it. So Everton will not dominate possession, right? That's just something that Everton won't do, right? He basically, like, Moyes sets teams up to be disciplined, to be effective in the transition. So you know what you're going to get. You are going to get a side who are organised. Possession-wise, they will give up possession. They're a team that will get the ball from A to B in the most efficient way that they can. They will be disciplined. My worry is their midfield. I think our midfield is. I think this game is actually very well suited to Casemiro. I do. Everton don't play with quickness of play. They don't play on the counter. I think they'll come to the ground, and I think they will play a low block, which we do struggle to break down. But I'm not worried for the midfield. I think this is a good game for Casemiro. That's why I put him on the thumbnail. Moyes tends to play a 4-1-4-1, very compact defensive block. So I think what we are going to see from them is we're going to see more of a back five. I think they're going to have a low block. I think they're going to entice us to come on to them. I think traditionally, can we break down a low block? I think if we do that early, I think it will be a sort of game whereby if we get one, I think we can get 2 or 3. Everton don't create many chances, and they don't create, and they don't convert. So I think that the onus will be on us to attack. I think they will play that low block. I think they'll play Idrissa Gueye. I think they'll play, a sort of I think that they're even going to play a back five with 2 sitting in front, and I think they'll look to break. I think Grealish, I don't know if he's injured or not. I think he'll play, and then Ndoye. I think it would literally be to try to counter us on the break with 2 or 3 players. Belieber, give me some loot. I'll be waiting, but Everton is always trouble. The coach needs proper selection. Stan, I'll never forget going down the Munich tunnel, hearing the chant. I'm 24, and that's the first time I cried in years. Look, Stan, mate, it sends the hairs on my neck wild, mate. There is nothing like it. Stan, I'm so pleased for you that you've managed to get there. Yeah, mate, it is. There are some things in life that you've got to do. People don't understand the sort of passion of fans, and this is why it annoys me when you've got players who don't care about this club. You've got Stan, you've got fans like everybody on here. Now, some of us are more passionate than others. It doesn't mean you're any less of a fan. It impacts people in different ways, right? But I am made up for you that that you managed to go. Art Hostage says, hello JB, I hope you're doing extremely well, my friend. How can I open an official United fan base in Sierra Leone? Mate, just basically, mate, just jump on to YouTube, really. If you're talking about a community the same as this, mate, basically just get on and stream. I mean, that's basically the best thing to do. Is look, if you're passionate about a particular thing, people tend to walk towards that. So, mate, just give it a go. If it's something that you want to do, trust me, it is not easy. It is not easy to do this. I think you've got to be very, very thick-skinned. I think you've got to have a sense of humour. Got to have a tripod. There is reason behind that as well. Start a page on Facebook, then make a channel. Yeah, it just get people involved, mate. It's you will find your people. You'll find your people that gravitate towards you. The one thing I'll always say, not everybody is going to like you, right? Don't try and compete with the biggest platforms out there, because we're not going to get that size. Even though this channel is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, we're just not going to compete with those massive channels. I would love to, but it's difficult, mate. It is. If we win against Everton, which have always given us a hard time, I'm confident to say that we might get top 4 this season. Hello from Malta. Stan says, much love back at you, mate. Just a fan, bro. Like-minded fans are around you, and hey, you have a leg up. Ryan Giggs' dad has a amazing CR7 legend. What are your thoughts on Shesko and our next game? I like Shesko. I do like Shesko. I think he gives us something different. Sadly, he's injured. I actually don't necessarily think it's a total disaster. I think it takes him out of the limelight. He's been criticised quite a lot, whereas some players get away with it. He hasn't. I don't know why. I think, and we're just going through the game now. I'll give you my opinion and the score at the end, what I think, and you get in your opinions and scores now. Stephanie, good afternoon. I hope you're doing extremely well. Bobby says 4-0. Cunha will play up top for the next 4 games. So, let's talk about Moyes. As we said, he tends to play 4-1-1 defensive block. His side are going to be very compact. Jamie Vargas is 3-1. Jamie, spoiler alert, Jamie, I'm with you. He's known for compactness, disciplined. He doesn't let you play through the lines. Moyes is one of those, a coach that, he does the simple things right. He wants his team to be disciplined, organised, compact, gives you little spaces between the lines. Verts fan says, I'm 60 and I can't concentrate in my studies. Look, welcome here, my friend. I don't want to, stop you from doing that. It is important, but it's also important to have a break. I remember going back studying for my exams. It's important to break, right? If you can't concentrate, that's your brain saying to you, I need a break. So look, don't feel too bad. United v Everton is a most-win game, please. Bobby says, Grealish we need to look out for, even if he's... we have to win our next 5-6 games for a good run after Christmas. I agree. So, offensively, Moyes dislikes to put the ball over the top. Stephanie says scoring the first goal will be vital again. I agree with you. Stephanie, I agree with you on the basis, the way that Moyes plays, that compact, disciplined. I think he's going to play with a back 5 with somebody sitting in there. He's going to play a low block. David Moyes is a wily guy. Amorim is still learning this league. I know he played them sort of last season, but David Moyes is we can't sleep on that. I think David Moyes is going to make them compact, disciplined, and we're going to have to break them down. And I think whilst we are trying to break them down, I think the difficult thing will be those balls. Like, they are going to put the balls into the mixer. They're going to put those balls in between the wing backs. So I think that is what they're going to do. They do have inverted wing backs, and they do push forward, and they like to get a crossing. So again, we're dealing with the team who like to get a cross into the box. CR7 says, I really hoped Lemens would make his international debut. What do you think about Fenerbahce? It's difficult. It's difficult. I get asked quite a lot about the Turkish teams, right? It's difficult for me to comment because I don't have that affiliation, right? All I'm going to say in it, Fenerbahce are, they're a good Turkish team. I've always thought of Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Trabzonspor, as always, decent sides, right? Fenerbahce, I think, are a good side. Will score first. Got to keep him out. I recognise the name. Do you comment on another United fan channel? 1-0 at half time. Switch off second half. Concede 2 goals. Scrap for a late equaliser. Part of the course, says Steve. We have to watch out for Ndoye. Yes, we do. Okay, bro, then you. So again, I think we do have to watch for Ndoye. I think what we need to do. I think we need to win the midfield. Pax Pan says, sentimental question, Dwight York, Andy Cole, Sheringham, who do you pick as your favourite? I would probably go Cole. I like Cole. Stephanie says, United at Old Trafford under the lights, we are hard to beat and usually win. I'm confident. I love that. I like Andy Cole. I think Andy Cole was a very, very underrated player. I like Yorkie as well, but I think Andy Cole, I'd pick him. Abina says, hi, hello. Scott says, Teddy. One or two, buddy. So look, we've spoken about Moyes. One of the things I think where we can get at them, I think their weaknesses are, I think they are over reliant on using a target man. I think they are over reliant on those balls straight to players. I think if we can cut those out, so I think Maguire plays. I think Maguire plays because of that aerial height. I don't think it's going to be a particularly fast game, so I think that Maguire starts. I think Maguire will be used because of the crosses into the box. Also, Everton love that ball over the top as well. The worry though is that pace. I think where you sacrifice Maguire and you sacrifice pace, if Maguire is back, what you make up in height, you lack in pace. So, and David Moyes is going to be acutely aware of that, and I do think Moyes will have a plan. I think Moyes' plan will be, if Maguire plays, then you use that Ndoye and you use that pace. You probably don't put as many crosses into the box. You play for feet and you go for shots. If Maguire's not playing and a Euro is playing, Euro's a great player, I think they'll then start bombarding crosses into the box, and we are susceptible to that. Also as well, I think the one thing that we've got, especially at home, is possession. I think possession-wise, I think sustained pressure, and I do think that they will crack. That's the one thing I just don't think that. Eventually, I think if we keep attacking them, I think if we can get that early goal, as you guys say, I think it could absolutely open them up. And we'll go for comparisons as well in a second. Let's have a little look. Bobby says Cole. Stan says 2-2 result versus Forest was huge. Honestly, yes, we should have won, but the crucial point against Hungary, relegation threatened led team by an experienced Sean Dyche. Yeah, and again, look, Stan, opinion, mate. I'm not going to come back on that opinion. I think I share a different view on that. I did watch the game, Stan. I thought we were very lucky to get a draw. I didn't think we played well at all. We lost the midfield. Our defensively on that Luke Shaw side, I thought we got exposed quite a few times. I actually thought we weren't great in that game. So I'm hoping, we weren't great against Forest, against Spurs. I thought we were terrible. So what I'm hoping now is, look, we can regroup, come back fresh. Fernandes hopefully will be refreshed after scoring 3 goals. And let's see. Changeway says United 3-1. Stephanie says Cole was elite. I was at Old Trafford when he scored 5 versus Ipswich. I love that game. I remember watching that game. I love Danny Cole. Andy Cole was fantastic. Amity says Manuel Ugarte needs to step up on his gaming style. He's strong. Ugarte does need to step up. I completely agree with you. Whether we can or not is another question. Brad says Ugarte needs to stay at home. Brad, fantastic. I was 3 in. So you were 3 in 95. I was 12. Stan says that's respectable. I enjoy. Look, and again, Stan, mate, I value your opinion as well, and that's what this is about, right? Just because I have an opinion doesn't mean that I'm right. Brad, I agree, Brad. I also think Shaw probably needs to stay at home as well. Ugarte and Kobe are slow a bit. They need to speed up their gaming style. Lippy says, hello, sir. Hello, hope you're doing extremely well. Ugarte needs to step up and go to another team. So we've spoken about transition. If we lose that ball up high, one of the things that we've done a lot this season is we do lose the ball up high. So when, and again, I'm talking about the wing backs. I'm not going to go into too much in naming names, but we do lose that ball up high and it puts pressure. Casemiro does lose the ball quite a bit. Bruno loses that ball quite a bit. And my worry is, we do have to high press, Scott. I agree with you. I think we do have to high press. The danger of that is we do lose the ball. I've seen it time and time again. I find Bruno Fernandes is. I know he's not playing in that position, but I do find him at times a bit of a. I do find it difficult with him sometimes because as much as Casemiro is good at when we're defending, controlling the game, controlling the tempo from our perspective, but we do lose that ball. And I don't think that we can lose that ball. Crossing, I think that Everton are going to cross. I think Everton are going to cross that ball. I think if you look at Forest game, if you look at Spurs game, if you look at most of the games that we've played, we are susceptible to that cross, and I do think that Moyes will look to exploit that. Set pieces again, I think is the same. I think that the difference will be, I think that we will have more opportunities. I think Everton have a limited goal threat. I think we have a goal threat from Ahmad, Bruno Fernandes, you could say as well, Mbumo, Cunha. I don't know who the number 10's going to be. Who's to say that Fernandes doesn't get a shot at 10? Who's to say that Manu doesn't play in this game? Let's have a little look what we're saying. finally international fun. Lion says finally international week is over today. Now the league starts proper. Bryce says, I think without Shaw, the midfield gets overexposed because how much he steps up to intercept partner Casemiro and Bruno goes into the attack. What I find, and many of you, and I respect that opinion. There are, Liverpool, for example, I thought Shaw was good. Forest, I thought Shaw was decent as well. But the one thing that I find with him is that lack of pace kills us. I think that lack of pace on that side is when he steps up or steps out, the left back doesn't support Luke Shaw, and I think Luke Shaw needs that support. I think Luke Shaw needs that support. I think he's quick enough to get back, but when he's exposed and when, as Liam said on here, is that when he gets turned, that's where the problem is. And I think that left side for us is an issue. Look, I don't doubt that Luke Shaw, when he's facing up against an opponent, he's very, very good. But it's that pace, is that when he's facing a tricky winger. But I do think that this game will suit a Luke Shaw. I do think this game will suit a Casemiro. Steph says, I'm hoping Lucha gets a run out as a substitute if we are winning comfortably. Lucha needs to play instead of Shaw when he's back fully fit. Surely Martinez is back now. Hopefully Amorim can start playing him over Shaw. I doubt we will high press, as more than likely Cunha will be playing as a striker. He does. In Rio's interview, Louis said that in 2012 wanted to join us, but Dortmund blocked. And then Van Persie came in. Some impressive time. Looking back, who would you take in 2012? Lewandowski, I think it's difficult to say. I think Van Persie was the one to get. Long term, Lewandowski would have been a fantastic striker. There is no doubt. But I think our fate wouldn't have changed because of the Glazers. I think that this is the reason for the downfall of this club is not just player based. As much as I do think these players down tools or have down tools, I still don't rate a lot of these players. But it's not just about players. It's not just about the players. It's the environment. It's the toxicity that we've had. So whilst I agree, I think in the long term, I think he would have been a great striker. It is beyond that. It really is. Amorim loves Mount. Won't be surprised if he plays from the start. If Mount is fit, I think Mount plays. Shaw needs to support and get in a hospital bed. In a better position. And Liverpool says Neil B 82. I think United are in a better position factually, and I think they are because the expectation is low. I think that United are in a better position on the basis that there is no expectation. There is no expectation on this club this season. As much as people, oh goodness, the expectation always comes from the fan base, right? Now, when I see bigger channels than mine, and I'm not calling anyone out, start talking about top four, stop talking about winning the league. One of them did an actual show on can we win the league, right? Fine, that's their position. That's what they do for clicks. That's fine. I don't have an issue with fans thinking that. I don't have an issue with fans holding this team to account. I demand we win the league every season. I demand we win cups. I demand we win the Champions League, not because I'm stupid, just because I think we need to hold these players accountable. We need to drive standards at this club. But when I do this, I feel I have to give a balanced view because I don't want to influence people's decisions. Not that I can anyway, because you guys are intelligent and you guys always come in here with amazing opinions. I'm very, very lucky that I do have that opinions on here. But I think personally, we are in a better position because the expectation is so low. I think the expectations from us fans is we need to be better. We need to win leagues. We need to do X, Y, and Z. Liverpool have spent nearly £500 million. They made a player go on strike. They've signed a young talent in Vert. They are not doing well this season. So I think we're in a better position in terms of expectation. They're in a better position because the money that they spent. At some point, it will kick in. But I ultimately think that we're in a better position. Xerxes can be sold and Højlund brought back. Højlund can't be brought back. Højlund can't be brought back from his loan. There is no break clause in the contract. If we wanted to bring him back, we would have to basically pay Napoli to bring him back. Steve says, I'm hoping Heaven gets back in the frame. He was excellent with Dorgu down last season until he got injured. I like Heaven. I do like him. The problem that we've got this season is Amorim is playing a version of survival. That's what he's doing. His football is survival. I agree with Shaw. He's a bit slow on the ball, even though he's experienced. Liam Mill says, hi, hello, my friend. Everyone loves a bit of toxicity by system of the down. Are you based out of Manchester? Also, do you go live on game days or home games? And what's one of your favourite memories of being a fan? I'm based in Essex, so I do. I would love to go more. I do go live on game day, so I do a watch along. So feel free to join us for that. I don't get to go to home games as much as I'd like. I went to, I think, 2 last season. It's difficult. What's my So my favourite one is 2. One is going to the Arsenal United match in '99 where Giggsy scored that goal. Unbelievable match where Schmeichel saved the penalty from, I think, Bergkamp. And then Giggsy goes and scores that goal. A favourite memory of being at ground. And then my other favourite one is winning the Champions League. 99 just was unreal. I watched that match. It was absolutely up and down. I've never experienced that in a game. The treble winning game, and the immortal words of Solskjaer has won it. I mean, I remember watching that game live, Teddy scoring, and then Solskjaer has won it. That for me just is unreal. Even to this day, I can watch that over and over again. Knowing United after 2-3 seasons, we would have sold Lewandowski to Bayern. Raindrop falling down the hill. Hey JB, niche fan legend. I bet anything we get Belabor in January. It's all on Indicator. Look, I would say take Indicator with a pinch of salt. Look, I would love that to be true. I'd love us to be ambitious. I'd love it to be true. Indicator, I would say just take it with a pinch of salt. Coming from the account that brought you hits like Amorim is going to be sacked in the last international break. It was called like code name something or other, and he was going to be sacked. They were wrong on that one. So look, all I'm saying is, look, just be careful. I would like him to come. Do I think he will? I think he will come. Let's see. Which club has 4 Champions Leagues? Well, Liverpool have loads. Who's got 4 Champions Leagues? AC Milan have got loads. Madrid have got loads. Bayern, probably Bayern Munich or Bayern 1-5. Bayern, AC Milan, United have got 3. Chelsea have got 2. I say Chelsea have got 2. Arsenal have got none. Liverpool have got, they got 6, 7. Who's got 4? Inter have got a couple. I don't know. That's a good question. Louis is considering the biggest professional in football. He was the reason why Xavi left. As always, tries the club to be as best as it can. Agreed for about 2 mil as well. We are and will always be the biggest club in the world. I'm hearing Wharton wants us. You will flop inverts. You have AC Milan jersey. No. I do not have an AC Milan kit. Just because you brought it up. Look, I got sent a clip. I got sent and I don't know who he is. He's on a United. I think he's on the biggest one, presenting a show in an AC Milan top. I'm sorry. Any channel that allows their presenters to present a United show in an AC Milan top, they've got no respect from me. Thoughts on Gomez? I like him. I think for £47 million, if that is true, I think it's worth a punt. I think he'll add something to the side. So I like him. I think he's defensively very good. He's very good at interceptions. I like him. I really like him. He's defensive. I think he's quick across the ground. I think he'll add something to this side as well. Yeah. JB is a posh Essex boy. Gomez is a must. Cunha is the new Cantona. I wouldn't go that far. Niche fan. Again, look, I respect the opinion, but I wouldn't go that far. I would love us to go for Balogun in January. 2-footed, good age, knows where the goal is, and a different profile. Proper number 9. There is no shame in being a match-going supporter. There's no shame in not being a match-going supporter. I live in Ancoats. When you have a full-time job, live in the city, you can't get to Old Trafford more than 10 games a season. It's true. It's true, Liam. I'll always say this, right? I've got absolutely the utmost respect for match-going fans who go every week, because you pay your money, right? You go to that club, and we have had absolutely a diabolical football, but you still go, you still pay your money, you still pay for your seat. Ultimate respect, and particularly for those away fans, right? Respect. But again, if you're a fan of the club, it doesn't matter if you don't go to every game. It doesn't matter. If you spend time watching the game, supporting the club, thinking about the club, talking about the club, then you are the same sort of fan. Just because you don't get to the ground much doesn't mean you're any less of a fan. And Liam is right there. We have supported from all over the country, the world. Otherwise, we wouldn't be as popular. And Liam, mate, you are, mate, you spot on, right? Because I've heard this many times, right? If it wasn't for fans around the world, spending your money, spending your hard-earned cash, watching the games, interacting on social media, this club wouldn't be as big as it is. So everybody's important. Stephanie says, great show, like, favourite and subscribe. Stephanie, thank you. Legend. Amadou says, United has the potential to win the Premier League this season. Look, I love that opinion, right? I love it, right? I don't share it, but I love it. Look, miracles have happened, right? Miracles have happened. But let's get through the next 10 games. I'm not entering that debate, but I love that opinion. I do. I love the optimism of that opinion. If we've got any chance, any percentage chance of doing anything at all, we need to sign players. Scott says depends on the next 10 games. Let's restart the season strongly. I agree with you. Thanks for the responses. I'll definitely tune in next Monday. Glad I found your account. Have a blessed day. Thank you. Thank you, my friend, legend. So look, where do I think? What do I think about the game? We've spoken about transitions. We've spoken about the game. We've spoken about, and the one good thing that we do on here is we've spoken about most of these games now is that we do tend to get this bit right. So what do I think? I think are more creative. I think are the home advantage. I think the talent that we've got, I think that ultimately, as much as we shouldn't underestimate David Moyes, I think will be organised, structured. I think he'll punish us from the break. I think he'll play that counter-attack style. It won't be typical counter-attack, but I think it will be some version of a counter-attack. I think they will be organised. We can't underestimate them. I think we need to score first. And I think we absolutely cannot drop points here. I think if we've got, as Amadou says there, if we've got any hope of doing anything this season, this is the team that we need to be. I absolutely do not underestimate them. I do not underestimate any team in this league. I'll give them absolute respect. And I do think if we sleep on this game, I think that we absolutely could lose this game. What do I think the team's going to be? What do I think the team will be? So I think that Lemens will start in goal. I think Lemens will start in goal. What do I think about the back three and then the wing backs? I think he goes De Ligt. I think he goes Luke Shaw. And I think he goes Maguire. I think he'll go Maguire for the aerial aspect for the crosses into the box. I think do I think Ahmad will play with Dorgu? I think that a Delo will play on the left-hand side with Luke Shaw. I do. I also think that Ahmad will play on the right. I think Mbeumo will play on that side as well. I think that is Mason Mount fit? That is the question. I think I'm going to chuck a curveball in, right? I think if Mason Mount is not fit, and I don't think he's going to be completely fit, I think he puts Bruno as 10. I think he plays Casemiro, and I think he's going to give Kobe Mainoo a shout at 8. I've just got a funny feeling that he's going to play Mainoo at 8. I think as much as my logical brain says he's going to go Mason Mount, Mbeumo, Cunha. I think Bruno at 8. I've just got this sneaky feeling that is Mainoo injured? I think one of you said that Mainoo's injured. If Mainoo's not injured, I do think he'll play. If Kobe Mainoo isn't injured, then I think he goes Mount, Mbeumo, Cunha up front, and then he'll just do Casemiro and Fernandes in the pivot. Do I think we'll win? Do I think we win? Yes, I do. Scott says Everton will play a long ball over the top and down the wings. I think you're spot on. Mind you, Everton will start their game with it in intense and will be on press to control that. I think that we need to dictate the tempo of the game. I think we need to come out hard and fast. I think if we allow them to get a foot into this game, they're gonna pop balls. They're gonna get balls and they're gonna try to bypass the pivot. I think they're gonna attack that space between the centre back and the wing back. And I think that is what they're gonna do. We cannot allow them to do that. If we cannot get up for this game, we cannot beat them. I think that tells you everything that you need to know. So what do I predict? I think that we win. I do think that we win. I think that it's going to be another uncomfortable game. I don't think we're going to have any comfortable games this season. I thought Brighton was a comfortable game to begin with, but it was one of those games that was comfortable, and then we took a foot off the gas, and then we were very lucky then that we went and got the 4th goal. So what do I ultimately think? I think we win. I think that it's going to be a reasonably close game. I think it's going to be something like a 2-1, and then we go and get the 3rd. So I don't think... Look, I'd love us to have an easy 4-0 win. You know, I just don't think that we will. I think teams will think that they can get joy. I think that what Amorim doesn't do, I think this is his worst characteristic that he does, is he plays the same team. And I get why he plays the same team. But the problem with that is not all of these players are good. And Everton and Moyes will work that out. Moyes will figure that out. But he says we win 2-0. All I'm going to say on it is I think will be a close game. I think the home advantage will serve us well. And I do think we win. I think Everton score because we always concede. And I can't see us not conceding. I can't. I would love it to be true. I'd love us to not concede. A clean sheet would be great. You know, imagine we start off the first game back on this run of 10 games. Clean sheet, easy win would be ideal. You never know what you're going to get with this side. So I think we win. I think we win because it's a home game. We have to win. And I think we win 2-1. I think it's going to be a very, very close game. And I think Everton do score. But I think that we should have enough. We should absolutely have enough. And that's where I sort of am on the game. So look, guys, I'm going to go. That was the preview for the game. You know, when Amorim does the presser, I'll come back on. David says, I do feel it more sensible to concede possession against Everton because the more we have possession, the more we pass the ball around the back three, restricting more forward pass. More ideal for Everton. Fantastic. I think this is why we do give up possession quite a lot. Kobe is injured. Is he injured? I thought Kobe didn't play because he was carrying an injury. If he is injured, look, it's all going to come out, right? If Kobe is injured, I don't think he plays, right? Because he can't play, right? If Manu is fit, I think that I've got a sneaky feeling that Bruno goes to 10, but we'll see. Liam says, have a good day, guys. Liam, legend, and we'll see you in a bit. United in, this is our first clean sheet. I hope so. I really, really do hope so. So look, guys, I am going to go. I will be back this evening. I should be back this evening. If anything does break in the meantime, I will come on and do a show, but I'm not just going to come on for clicks. You know, we've spoken about Baleba enough. We've spoken about Semenya enough. We've spoken about Gomez. We've spoken about Anderson, and I'm not going to keep doing all that click stuff. I'm not going to keep on beating that drum until there is stories to tell. I will come back onto that. So hopefully there'll be some more injury news to see if anybody else is out. Shesko is out for a month, but other than that, I think Kobe, as Liam says, I think possibly could be out as well. The press conference will come soon enough towards the back end of the week. But yeah, I'll be back to us. So hopefully you can join me tonight. I should be doing a show tonight. If not, I will let you guys know. But yeah, look, have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Look, thank you so much for being here. You guys make this channel fantastically amazing. The numbers grow every single week. We're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is your channel as much as it is mine. And look, fantastic stuff. So look, guys, I will be back this evening. Have a good rest of your days, and I'll see you in a bit. Take care.